When COVID happened, that was one time we exporters and production people go crazy.
It is going to be an exciting episode today because I love fashion. Like 25 plus years of experience in manufacturing and exports, right?
The way we are styling the product, the way we are minimizing the product wastages, the entire process. So we are being very conscious while we are creating it.
As a person who is going to buy a t-shirt or a brand or something, right? I should think of whether this brand is giving me a sustainable clothing or not.
But what has really transformed the business part of it has been the digital and the technology integration.
Today's guest is a pioneer in the fashion industry with 25 years of experience in garment manufacturing, exports, and sustainable innovation. Meet Rachna Sarup, co-founder and CEO, B77 Textiles Pvt. Limited. From working for multiple international brands as an exporter, now they are building their own brand, B77 Textiles Pvt. Limited. In today's conversation, we'll explore how they are leveraging these digital tools and AI to build their brand in the fashion industry. So help me welcoming today's guest, Rachna Sarup, co-founder and CEO, B77 Textiles Pvt. Limited. It is going to be an exciting episode today because I love fashion and would like to know how things are happening in the industries and understand how they are coming to us in the end format. Thank you so much for being part of my show.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
During this podcast, I would like to learn a lot about this industry because I look at this industry as a user that at the end of the day, I'm wearing clothes and I am very particular about how it looks and how it fits me. But then the making behind all this end product, right? I would like to understand more about it.
And you're absolutely right. Each one of us wears fashion and each one of wears style. So I think everybody has their own bit of association and understanding with fashion and style.
Right. So with like 25 plus years of experience in manufacturing and exports, right? So I would like to understand what was your journey like? How was your takeaway considering the change of fashion sense from past 25 years? So what is the shift that you are seen in this industry?
So interestingly, even though the industry has gone through many changes and many new things are coming up, but essentially the essence stays the same. We still have our Mera Wala pink, which is that we still like a certain Wala color. We still have the same kind. But what has really transformed the business part of it has been the digital and the technology integration, which is come at every stage of the entire cycle, right from designing to production to distribution to inventory management, and most of all, the digital revolution of marketing. So I think what has happened is a 360-degree integration from emotions to technology, which has been very fascinating. And like I said, the emotion part of it, Mera wala pink nahi badla, but the rest of it, to how to give the Mera wala pink has changed. That has been the most interesting part. It's a learning phase. We are learning every single day.
So having a business as like working for B2B segment, like you mostly work for some brands, like you have your own
Right.
requirement or brief as such you receive. Based on that, you create the
Correct.
inventory and you share across to them. But building a brand is
Right.
completely a different case altogether. So what was that instant which made you to think of starting off your own brand? So what was that story all about?
Very beautifully said. And I'm so glad somebody understands that there are two different business models and two different thought processes. Now, you've got me started off. So it did start with a story because when COVID happened, that was one time we exporters and production people go crazy. We don't sense time and the value. We're just running around. It's a hustle that we live. Was a time when I had to slow down deliberately, and I had my father staying with me because my mother had passed away recently. He being a typical IIT graduate would want to watch only documentaries on television, and he would come and stay with us and was watching documentaries continuously. So initially it was decided my children will spend time with him, but eventually the same documentary was playing again and again. So they said, "Ma, this is your bit now." I started watching a lot of David Attenborough. When I watched that with entire interest, and it was a repeat which was coming back to me again and again, what scared me was the numbers that he was using, the depletion of the Amazon, the various kind of climatical issues that were being propped up and were created by man-made resources which were being overused. And that got me thinking, that what are we doing? Because when I studied, we were told that Amazon is going to live for generations. And here we were talking about a time which I'm not even sure the next generation is going to be able to see it. It's going to become like a tourist destination. And I started researching on what is happening. When I started studying, I realized there are two major pollutants. One is oil and the other is the apparel industry. The largest being the oil, but I have no experience and exposure to that. The second was the apparel industry. And that's when it hit me that this is where the change is required. And I decided to get myself involved in the sustainable study. I did a lot of research. I started going into it. I found that this was going to be the next change maker in the industry from a commercial perspective. But from an emotional perspective, I thought it was the need of the hour. If we don't make the change now, we are in trouble. And that's when I decided to go into the sustainable way. How do I make the change? Not by talking only. But I'm a producer. I know, I understand fashion. I understand the entire supply chain. So that's when I decided that India has been producing to the top brands across the world. We have the best skill sets, we have the best production units. Why not create a brand which is speaking with purpose, which is speaking with the same fashion, the same ethos that we're producing for others, but why not do it for ourselves? And that's when B77 got curated, and we, sort of decided to launch it in 2022.
You spoke about some like effects it is creating on in the environment, right? So people are
Right.
not at all aware about. Me personally, I'm not. I know that it is affecting the environment, but then in what ways I would like to understand that, so that people are also look like as a person who is going to buy a t-shirt or a brand or something, right? I should think of whether this brand is giving me a sustainable clothing or not. But I want to understand what is the effect it is giving on the environment. So if you just give me the thought behind that.
Aren't we all struggling with the climatical changes?
Correct.
Why are the climatical changes taking place? You have seen man-made deserts being come up with landfills.
Mhm.
You're seeing the kind of pollution that they cause. You're seeing the kind of climatical destruction, the water, the melting of the ice, everything as a chain. This is all in front of us, and this is all happening because of the main reason is the pollution that we are doing, the water wastages that we are doing, the landfills we are doing. So these are the three, four main contributions. When you're wearing a denim shirt, just see the amount of water which is being utilized. It's almost 300 liters in one shirt.
Wow.
That is the scariest part, where the denim jeans. And the reason I say the denims are because or each one of us wears it.
Correct.
There are very few people who are not wearing it. When you're wearing chemicals on the dyes that you're using, when they're high chemical used, then it does hurt your skin. The polyester that is being used is the worst for your skin.
Correct.
So it is a complete chaos. And imagine that polyester when it goes down to the landfill. It takes years and years for it to be there with the soil. And it is only poison. It is only poison. So you have to understand the entire working, and you have to see how it is being done to realize how scary the whole situation is. You know, it is just not one thing, it's the waste of material which has to be thought of. Polyester is the worst thing to have, the water wastage, the landfills that we are creating. So each one of it is connected to your apparel industry.
So I saw some of your collections on your website on Instagram handles. So I at the time, like most of the time, people look at the pricing itself. First and things they go for is when we see a new brand or something, they'll compare it with the existing brands with their parameter of pricing. I saw that you are selling it at a very affordable price, but you're also stating that you're creating a sustainable clothing. But when it comes to creating this whole lot of bunch of production, you also said that you are considering the natural ways of doing it instead of going for a traditional way of manufacturing. So does that not help, like affect in costing of your production, right? Maybe I'm just understanding. I'm trying to understand that. So how, as a brand, you as a brand, making sure that creating that balance of having a sustainable clothing at this affordable price? Like, what is your way of execution?
Glad you brought this up because unless we make sustainable clothing reachable, we cannot make the change.
Oh, correct.
It is going to always be considered as a affluent, a premium thing. So you have to make it reachable for people. That has been a conscious effort. The way we are styling the product, the way we are minimizing the product wastages, the entire process. So we are being very conscious while we are creating it. So when you minimize your wastages, you as it is reduced your cost. When you
Okay.
think and you design and you curate the entire process, keeping in mind minimum wastages, minimum cost points, and you see, it's never the cost of just the material, it's a cumulative thing which comes up. So it has been a very conscious effort from us not to overprice the product to the consumer. We want the consumer to make this change in the wardrobe. Once that change is made in the wardrobe, then it is a way of life for them. And then the value is just non functional over there. It becomes a way that people start doing it. So that has been a very important thing because, like I said, when I was trying to research and understand why has the change not taken place? Because everybody knew sustainability. It's not something new which has come up. So why is the change not happening? So between Southeast Asia, America, and India, I did a very small dispor of people where I did a little of data collection. What has been the reason that they haven't made the change? Three things came out very loud and clear. Predominantly, people did not give them fashion. They gave them not fitting, not stylish clothing in the name of sustainability. Point number two, the pricing. They were overpriced. They were priced almost 35 to 40% extra to any regular product line. Third was the most important, which is a fitment. You know, if it's not fitting you well and if it's not good looking good on you, whether you can buy it or not becomes insignificant. So when we curated B77, we tried to make sure that all these things are looked into. And the way our lives are today, it has to become slip into it, not expect people to do that. So that's what
Correct.
we did. So we've curated fashionable product lines which you can wear to a party, you can wear to work, you can proudly wear it to your picnics also. So we've tried to create a very deep product line where we have done that. So we have prints, we have embroideries, we have fancy styles which are being worn to works, but we always make sure we are using all good fabrics which are good for your skin, which are not harming the environment. Our printing is also done in a way that the chemical utilization is almost zero. So it's a whole process of doing things to make the product well valuable for the consumer. And yes, we have consciously tried to make the pricing competitive enough to make the change in the consumer, to be able to scale it enough to become a what brand name which is in every household.
Your brand is using these newest digital tools and leveraging AI to build your brand. So
Right.
how is the digital tools in today's age is helping a clothing industry? When we see at a clothing industry, has a typical format of getting procurement and creating designs and selling it through distribution networks. So how you guys are leveraging today's digital tools, which is helping you build your brand?
When you asked me the first question, I think that's what I said. That's where the
Correct.
change is made. The
Mm.
integration of digital tools, the integration of technology with the regular supply chain, design parameters, the making sure that the wastage is minimized. So what we've done is we have integrated it at the stage of designing, the way we are doing the production also, so that when we are cutting a product, we make sure that it is minimum wastages. So it's all digitally designed. It's all pattern making is done over there. We are able to make a 2D pattern making. We are able to optimize the wastages. We make sure that, in fact, we have even got a 3D trial room. So it's a 2D pattern making which goes onto the 3D body, and an avatar is created basically, and it's very, very user friendly. All you need to do is give your basic parameters of your height, your chest,
Mm.
your waist, or whatever maximum, the precision is higher. So we have that technology as well at the beta stage. We have done the testing and we have kept it over there. What happens there is when a consumer is buying online, we all know it's a big challenge. We don't know how it's going to fit us and how it's going to
Mm.
be there. So this gives you precision almost at 99%. The only reason I leave the 1% is for human error, because the piece is eventually being checked by a human person over there. But the rest of it is beautifully synchronized right from pattern making to the 3D avatar creation, where you get a 360-degree look of the avatar and you can see how it is. It's a heat mapping. So wherever it's too close to the skin, you get a red, and whenever it's fine, you get. So each one has the same style, can be worn differently, how people like to wear it. So that's the other part of it. And like I said, marketing, everything in today's date, we are a digital market platform. We work with digital market platforms. So all the desktop, all the algos, all the working is all digitalized. Our marketing is also digitalized. So I think digitalization is integrated now in fashion, and it's very
Correct.
difficult to even think of it separately.
Mm.
Our inventory management is being done by that. We try and do almost everything in. I'll be announcing it the first time today on your podcast. We have got a QR code which will be there on each SKU, which is being designed and produced by B77, which will show you the complete traceability. So this is
Okay.
done through blockchain. And we
Mm.
will be able to give you a complete, every product you buy from us will have a QR code which shows the entire carbon footprint that you have saved. And as we progress, I have many thoughts how I'm going to integrate it with other technology points and show how people can actually make that change by being conscious about how they are doing their purchase in fashion also. So I think technology is now just a part of our lives and every bit of us.
How it fits me, how it is looking at me, and I have some preconceived notion. I'll only go for white, I'll go for black, I'll go for XYZ. So when you talk to your early customers, what was their response? Did they adopted it very casually, or they were very skeptical about whether it is going to help us to change our wardrobe and make it as a lifestyle that we are going to sustainable clothing? So how is the crowd responding to these kind of initiatives that brands are coming up with?
So there are two ways. There are two different disparate of people who are reacting differently in how it does. One who knew what sustainability is,
Mhm.
one who knew that they wanted to make a change. So, but they didn't know how to do it. So they get very excited when they see a brand like B77 and they actually say that this is fantastic. We really didn't know, because now we can wear it to work also. We can wear it to a party also. So it's not changing there. Like I said, that's where we focused on. So that group of people was easy to communicate, was easy to sell. They became consumers much faster for us. But then there is another lot of people who have been reading, but they're very, very apprehensive what they're saying, what they're not doing, how they're doing, what's not happening, especially with the greenwashing talk all over the place. And it's basically for those true people that we have got these QR codes, which are going to be part of our each SKU to prove that we walk the talk. Point number two, for anyone to consume, even for you, if you want to buy a shirt or a thing, if it looks good and if it fits good, sustainability will just be a part of your change. You're not going to buy a sustainable product. You're
Mm.
becoming a sustainable product wearer because you realized I'm looking great, but I'm also doing great for the environment. I'm also doing well for the entire supply chain of the planet. So you will automatically convert, and when
Correct.
you once bought a shirt from us, we are confident enough you'll buy the rest of your wardrobe also. That
Mhm.
we know we can do.
So as being a marketing specialist, right, from last 10 years and also work on building brands. So what is your brand building exercise? We speak about all the technical aspects behind the brand and what you are looking after as per sustainability and all those things. But building a brand also makes an important aspect in creating your this thing, brand for the market. So what are the specific channels or ways that you are creating or using or leveraging so that you are like building your brand?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Every single day, every single minute, that's the one thing we think about and we do. We've been very conscious of creating a brand. We didn't want it to go without a story. We didn't want it to be just another name because we have style and as we say, style with purpose. So unless you create a story and unless you go out and tell people what you're doing, how consciously you're making an effort, people will never know what is happening. So we have been very careful about how we communication. So for us, our communication has been the key marketing factor. Our ethos of trying to do just right at every stage, not over leveraging any platform, not over leveraging any point, but making sure our communication is stronger than anything else. We also realized soon that if you're only going to limit yourself to the website, then the journey is going to be longer.
Right.
The thing, and also to validate where you're heading out. I thought it was a great time for me to go out to the marketplaces. And because those marketplaces have people who understand style, they understand fashion, but they also have started understanding sustainability. But they do not know how and where to go. So, what made me decide to use was because you have a top of the funnel, which is huge, and your conversion is then not only on sustainability, it's on the integration of all these points because it's never going to be only one thing which is selling. So I can't just sell on sustainability. I have to sell style, fitment, fashion, and sustainability. We've got the Rising Star on Myntra. We have just won an Amala Earth Award for the most responsible fashion brand. We are on Ajio, we are on Saspy, we are on Amazon. Amazon is going green with fashion. Walmart is also going very consciously. So we increased our marketing positioning by going up to marketplaces. We've had a very good, phenomenal, in fact, response from them from both perspective of sustainability. Also, every second day, I actually have people reaching out to us that we never realized sustainability could look and feel so good. That we always thought this was it. So I think to me, that has been the learning phase. Now the second phase has was that we reached out B2B to brands globally. I was shortlisted by PhD Chambers of Commerce as one of the most promising brands from India in sustainability, and we were sent to the Magic Sourcing Show in America, where we got a couple of clients who have done collaboration with them. So we have already started exporting there. Besides that, we have a client, we have started shipping to New Zealand. And so that's our little footprint in the export market as well, because the understanding of sustainability and requirement of good fabrics and good low chemical dyes is much higher. They have a different thought process on fashion as well. So I think that has been the phase two for me. And now we're back onto the website where we are going. We've done lots of pop-ups. When we do pop-ups, we meet the customer directly one-on-one. We understand what the need is, how they have seen. And the exciting thing is, I was just in Dehradun on the weekend for a pop-up, which we were there. And I had these two ladies at different timings who came up to me and said, "Oh, my sister wears you. And every time she wears you, it's excellent. Everybody praises her." And it took her 1 second to just pick up a piece she liked. And she
Mm.
just didn't ask the price. She didn't everything. She just said, "Can I just go and try it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." But that's the euphoria moment for us because that means the brand is reaching out. That means there are people who are coming back to us. It's been a slow journey, but slow and steady wins the race. It's been consciously created to make sure that we're going everywhere organically. We have made those very significant, tough decisions, but yes.
So as a part of branding exercise, first thing which comes to my mind is the name of the brand, right? I saw the name and I felt like very unique in itself, and also like resembling what you do as your brand, right? So just tell me, what is the story behind, or what made you to stick to this name? Why not any other name as such?
So 77 is an angelic number, which means passion, progress, and positivity.
Hmm.
And the B means if you believe in yourself, you're a brand by yourself. You don't need a logo to identify with you. And
Hmm.
that's the new way of living today. That's what we're all saying, that you have to believe in yourself and you're there. And if you see the way we have designed the logo, it's like a fast forward. So you have to think ahead of time. So when we thought of sustainability, the world was thinking of closing down businesses. We brought out a brand in the midst of COVID. So
Correct.
I think that's an attitude the brand comes with, thinking fast forward ahead of time, moving ahead against all the challenges, finding their way. And that's B77.
Right.
And the circle
Absolutely.
is the circularity that we are providing you.
So my next question is about scaling. What is your viewpoint on building and scaling your brand? But why I'm asking this, because like once you start think of scaling, right? The other things which we have been constantly working on as making sure each and every parameters which we believe in, like sustainability and all those things, will slightly disturb or will slightly affect because you are constantly thinking of scaling your brand. And once you start off, we at some point of time we have to think of scaling and we have to reach more people. So how we are going to manage that in your end, or else you have already thought of this and you have made few things at the start itself, that you made sure to keep some parameters you have fixed in and you have thought of scaling. So what is that mix and match, how you are looking at it?
It's a myth that sustainability cannot scale.
Okay.
Unless it's scalable, it's not going to be sustainable. It's as simple as that. When we visualize the brand, we didn't look at only dressing 10 people. We want to be a household brand where every person's wardrobe has a B77, where they're making the right change and right decision, doing it for the planet consciously. And if you heard me through the entire conversation, every step that we have decided, everything we have done, we have consciously curated products which can only scale and can grow time after time. They're ethically made, they're ethically produced. There is no reason why they cannot scale. The materials are good. The difference between a sustainable fashion and a fast fashion essentially are the materials that are being used, the processes which are being used. Those are always going to be in our control. Those are the strong ethos we will stand by. And it's not tough to do it once you have got it ingrained and flowing in your blood. So I think it is just a myth which needs to be sort of broken out of, that sustainability has to be scalable, otherwise it will not be sustainable. And at the back end also, things are getting ready and absolutely governments are supporting us. Globally, there is a lot of importance being given to sustainable fashion. So I don't see I mean, there'll always be hurdles which we have to cross, but that's what makes the journey the journey. But I think the future is in sustainability and scalability of sustainable products.
So I saw that you have a good amount of experience in the industry, right? I would like to know about some philosophy behind leadership. Like you might be working with different set of employees throughout your experience. So I just want to learn from you that what was your leadership philosophy and all those things you did, so that you have been in this industry from such a long time.
I think leadership means team workmanship, which means making people feel a part of you and your dream, your vision, your journey. And that comes when you give respect, when you give opportunity, and when you give people the decision making power. And you have to be confident enough on your own skill set that if they take a wrong decision, you can stand up and make the change and correct it if it goes right. But you have to stand with your team. So I think those are the strong essence. You have to be a team manager. You have to trust people. You have to give an opportunity to people and believe in what they do. And then they become a part of your life. I have people working with me for over 28, 29 years.
Nice. That's what I felt like, the vibe that you are showing me or I'm perceiving, right? Based on that, I just thought of understanding your leadership philosophy and how you are managing your business. So I just got more. Mistakes are part of the journey, but
The difference between a leader and the regular person is he knows how to look after the mistake that takes place, not by them, but the others.
That's correct. So one last question I have is about if someone wants to build a brand, right, in the fashion industry. So what steps he should look for in the initial stages? First thing. Second thing, we also see a lot of content on YouTube that helps people to build a brand that is particularly a clothing brand, and they mostly promote the drop shipping model, right? So they speak about getting it from some people and just selling it to your customers and all. So there is so much noise in the market regarding fashion industry when someone wants to start it.
I think if you're starting a any fashion brand,
Any fashion
irrespective of,
brand I'm talking
yeah,
about, yeah.
you have to be very clear of what you want to do and how you want to take it, because making this entire process is very expensive. It's not about style, it's not about fashion, it's about being able to have consistent money power to be able to keep building, keep doing and doing. So you have to have a vision. Drop shipment is a mode of reaching of distribution. It is not your business model. It is just a way to distribute your product line. Most brands which are not able to go for a very long time is because they don't have things in control. So it is very good to have that key distinguishing factor with you right from design to the delivery, where you control wastages, because the biggest loss is inventory when you have dead inventory and you're not able to liquidate it. So anybody who's putting in his time, money should create an entire seamless process right from design to distribution and make sure there is minimum wastage. And then I think the journey can be worked out much faster and much better.
It was really nice interacting with you. I'm really happy, and I got a lot of information from my end. Not what I was expecting from you, and much more than.
You're going to buy a Swimming t-shirt now?
Definitely, definitely. Because I was, as you told, right, one thing that if you give me the style and the fit, what I'm expecting, the other things comes along which without any effort itself. So that point has made me change in a way that I should look for some sustainable brands, particularly your brand in this case. But as a person, if I see, I would at least consider looking at it, because I or else it is general notion that when someone talks about sustainability or healthy or which is very good than any other alternatives, they think that is expensive, that is not for us, that is for some set of audience or people who only go and buy it from there. So this is a general notion that people carry. The way you told, like, if we address what they are expecting from a brand or any specific item, then the other product comes in, other thing comes in along.
While you're saying this, a very important thing that we have to understand is quality.
Right.
The cost differential is not just because of the material, it is on the quality. The
Correct.
emphasis has to be on quality. The entire base that B77 stands in on is quality. Quality of material, quality of the process, and the delivery of the product. Because
Right.
if you're not going to get a good quality product, you're not going to be able to sustain the material. So it's a whole process. And I think that has what has compromised in the industry. In the process of trying to make it so commercial, in the process of trying to compromise on the price, we compromised on the material and the quality process. We compromised on the quality of the people who are making it. To me, those are the most important thing. If you cannot look after the people who are producing it, it is not about the money going there. It's about looking after. That is sustainability, quality. That for me is the future, and you have to look after people, material, process, everything. So I think that is important. You've looked after your stomachs now. The gut is eating all the organic food. Now you need to look after the part which covers every inch of you, and that's your skin. So you have to make sure you're wearing the right product. And I would request each one who hears this, I don't want to give gyan because I think that's the most boring thing to do. But I would definitely like to stimulate your interest to go back and read and see what polyester does to your skin.
Thank you so much for being part of my show. It was really privileged to have you.
Thank you very much for having me here. And thanks from B77 for letting us speak about it.